Hey. Oh, we got the fade out today.
Yo, it's Fair Game Friday. It's Fair Game Friday.
Dun, dun. What's
This
up,
is
y'all?
Nelly P.
I'm Pierre Javon.
And we are
Fair game.
So what's up? 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 What's up, ladies? Okay. So we hope everybody has had a good week. Well, Pierre, Javon
I'm
is
tired. I don't know how Oprah did this every day for 25 years. I don't know how Charlamagne does it at 5 in the morning.
Dedication, commitment, passion.
But when you're doing what you want to do and you got a little money in your pocket,
it feels good.
What?
We had to make some decisions today.
Okay.
So we hope y'all are having a good day. The chat is up. You know, we on here. We ready. Let go. So, of course, we're going to start with, in case you missed it.
Today is Beyonce's birthday.
In case you missed it.
Yes, my favorite dance partner. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, happy birthday, Beyonce. I'm sure you're somewhere in another world living it up.
Yes.
In case you missed it, so first on my list, Cynthia and Portia. They are filming Real Housewives of Atlanta right now for the next season. And apparently, Cynthia has kicked Portia in the stomach with her high heels on. So, there's not too many details about it, of course, because it's going to be on the upcoming season. But apparently, it was a disagreement, as it always is with them. And Cynthia was tired of talking about it. And Portia approached her to continue to talk about it. And Cynthia got angry and had kicked her in the stomach.
What does that even mean?
I mean,
and for Cynthia, of all people, who was so taken aback by Portia's actions towards Kenya, and she couldn't understand why anybody would support Portia after that, and now you kicking
right,
people.
That was the first thing that
that's like a headbutt.
I read it online, and the article, I read it on reality, and they were saying for Cynthia to be so against Portia when Portia and Kenya's whole terrible debacle went on, then for her to get upset and kick somebody in the stomach. Unlike Kenya, Portia's not pressing charges. Portia probably don't even really care. Portia be working out. So first of all, her stomach, that heel might have broke. For real. But either way, so they trying to figure out if Cynthia will be kicked off, which I don't think will be a bad thing. I mean, what?
Don't have that many things.
Everybody just, the whole show just, a lot needs to stop. But anyway, something positive with the game, the rapper, minus the show that he's doing. He's back doing the Robin Hood project. Something I be keeping up with him doing on Instagram. Not here lately because whatever. But either way, he has started again, and he's already donated over $30,000 just to kids, families, helping them in their time of need. That's one thing I really do like about him. He gives back, and it's not only in LA. Like if he sees stories, people need help. You know, he always donates the money. Last year, I think the little girl got killed on the porch. And he paid for her funeral. Like, you know, he be doing a lot.
He's doing $1,000 a day. So if you write your address in his manager's comments or something, he's giving away $1,000 for 25 days up until his new album comes out.
That's love. Like, people can say whatever they want to say about him, but your character and the things you do says a lot about your character. And
a lot of people have money to give away that they don't give away.
They don't.
Yeah.
And for him, I mean, I'm sure he always will have money, but for him to not be like mainstream, you know, all hunky-dory, like how you think he will still be making money, and for him to just be giving out $1,000 a day, you know, and he has his own family, he has his own kids. So shout out to the game, because today you are a black man that rocks.
Yeah.
Kevin Gates was in the blogs for kicking the young female at the show. And that's all we knew. Kevin Gates kicked the girl at the show. They had the video. Everybody was trying to get on Kevin Gates. But he has made a song about it, and it's called The Truth. And basically in the song, he was saying that the young woman was grabbing his private area, and she had did it more than once. And we also know Kevin Gates is in a relationship. He's been very open about that. So he was saying that, you know, it was a wrong reaction to what she was doing, but he had warned her already, like, stop doing it. And we just so happened to see on the camera, which is we always see half the story. He kicks her, and one line in the song that he said that I really liked said, "You're a queen and you wasn't respecting yourself. If you ever been disrespected, you know how I felt." And I know. Because being in the club, dudes grabbing you, trying to touch your butt, little jockey slide, you be wanting to hit somebody because it's like, don't touch me, I don't know you type thing. And for him, it's probably how he thought. Like, you don't know me, you know I'm Kevin Gates, but at the same time, just because I'm a celebrity don't mean you got to be standing up here grabbing, especially if I'm telling you chill out.
And it's a double standard.
That too.
But I didn't hear about this. You know a lot about stuff to be out the loop this week.
It's always double standard. Well, see, Kevin Gates, that came out when I was still talking with my social media. But I just seen today on when I had to get on the website to get my information. I seen it today that's what was up, that he wrote a song. For Music Fridays, Diggy has a new song out called Fakin' with Ty Dolla $ign and Omarion. It's a nice little, you know, Ty Dolla $ign soup up a song. And so does Omarion. Yeah. Omarion is good on the hook, good on the chorus.
I love Ty Dolla $ign. Only song I don't like his song with Ray Sherman.
Now, you need to hear this one, because when I tell you he be hitting some serious auto runs.
I believe it. Girl. His last album, I listened to it forever.
Yes, you did. Tiana Taylor, her mixtape, the cassette tape, 1994. It's only 5 songs. Nice quick listen if you want to. It's pretty cool. It's definitely Tiana Taylor.
Yeah, she grows on you.
And if you have been, like, the last one was like the Miseducation of Tiana or something, like, she's real into paying her respect to previous artists. And
she has a baby on the way.
I was about to say, and they are having a baby. I think we mentioned it last week, but we didn't know it was a girl.
No, we didn't mention it because
you must talk about it.
we talked about it, and then she put up Throwback Thursday with her abs and said it wasn't true.
Well,
and then in his little post, he basically said, like, when you want to tell somebody you're ready to tell somebody, the world don't need to know before you're ready. So basically, we found out, and, you know, that wasn't how she wanted. And she still don't think said anything about it. But
yeah, she didn't. But
congrats to her.
But he posted, and they're having a little girl. So shout out to them and their new creation of life. Rick Ross mixtape dropped today. Haven't listened to it, but it did drop. And it's called Black Dollar. And 2 Chainz got a new mixtape too, Trapper Belly. I don't know what 2 Chainz.
I heard Jeezy new song on the way over here.
Yeah, Jeezy do got a new song. I can't. Yeah, did I hear that?
It's kind of catchy. It's definitely.
Because I was listening to his mixtape, but I didn't finish the whole thing. But Dance with the Stars is back.
Get your life, honey.
Tamar's gonna be getting her life.
Yes.
Dance with the Stars.
Have several.
Along with Shaka Khan, ain't nobody. Come
First of all.
Paula Deen, Nick Carter. Y'all remember him? What's that? NSYNC, Blackstreet Boys. Blackstreet Boys. One of them boy groups. Yes. Nick Carter. He's on. Boys, yeah. This is gonna be interesting. I'm probably gonna watch see Tamar and Shaka Khan. Cause Shaka Khan, I know she got some moves on her.
Yeah.
Tamar is just Tamar.
It's gonna be challenging, but she's gonna get her body in shape. That's what she wants. She looks good. She has lost. She looks young, smaller than before she had low.
She looks small to the point where she can stop now. Like, this is good. Now she's tone.
And I don't think she's working out though.
She just
because she already she's very busy, and she always be saying how she's gonna start her diet like when she used to be on the real.
Because trust and believe, once we get our glam squad and stuff like that, I'm not gonna have to work out. Because we're gonna be like this. And it's my leg.
I love how the glam squad went with
yes,
I was like, what the glam squad gonna do?
Girl, it's gonna get us because we're gonna be on the run, whipping and running.
I mean, I'm probably working out because I'm gonna have some really cute workout clothes.
We're gonna be like Brandy.
I'm gonna have some really cute
Brandy
clothes.
Shout out to Brandy.
Gym, bruh.
Brandy be getting it popping when she was on
Broadway,
musical
5 in the morning, 1 in the morning after the show.
Bareface on Snapchat. What's up? I'm getting it in.
Okay, so I got some things on my list.
First of all, we do have a comment about Portia getting kicked. Somebody said she deserved to get kicked.
Oh my God.
LOL. We don't know that. We weren't watching.
Kicking is just ridiculous.
It's just rude, period. I mean, I
can't even imagine fixing myself to put my leg up above my heel.
I just also feel as though if you're going to take that time, you might as well hit her. Like, what are you kicking her?
Like, were they on the floor?
They were standing up.
Oh, God.
They were standing up, and she like, hey y'all.
That's too much.
Yeah.
But anyway,
we'll
see what happens. Concussion is Will Smith's new movie. It was a pretty good trailer, and supposedly they had to go back and edit some things so that the NFL, doesn't get up in the uproar. But it's basically about the guy that started the research on concussions, football and the relation and all that. So it should be good. Will Smith does not disappoint.
Yeah, anything that has Will Smith in it, you can go see it. And period. Pursuit of Happiness is still one of my faves.
And Focus was an amazing movie. Amazing movie.
You know what I still haven't seen? It's not Will Smith, it's Denzel Washington, but I still haven't seen it, The Equalizer.
Great movie.
They said it was amazing.
Equalizer was great. Focus, I would say Focus was even better.
Y'all, we still ain't seen Straight Outta Compton.
But let's not talk about that. Because we're reporting the news. Apple, this would happen like right after the show. Apple threatened, well not threatened, but they could sue Tidal for showing Drake performing at Louisiana Lil Wayne's concert in Louisiana because he has an exclusive deal with Apple, so he's not supposed to do any other live streaming things. And I thought that was crazy. So literally when he was performing and he came out on his song, they had to cut the broadcast, the stream, and then come back, pick back up when Drake was done. So it's kind of like,
it's a stretch.
Did Drake's people realize that when they signed the contract? And that's, you know, because I know that's what Apple's goal was, to keep him exclusive.
Yeah.
But did they realize that you're going to be doing like plenty of, Drake is on everybody's song, just like Chris Brown.
So it's like every time this part come on, we got to X that out.
We can't promote it and we can't, that's a little crazy. But it's a $20 million lawsuit if so. So Tidal, we can't be doing it. VMAs, Kanye for president. I wasn't gonna say that when we first started, but it was Beyonce first. And he would love for us to say Beyonce first anyway.
Yeah, but he's not running.
But the VMAs, a little crazy.
Miley
Cyrus, they're always crazy though.
Definitely need a new host.
VMAs,
she was to the left.
I think the VMAs are always crazy, and they want to be crazy. They want to be outrageous. People that come to MTV somehow are the same people that go to the Billboard, American Music Awards, but they act ridiculous. Like, it's the same crowd minus a few VH1 stars or MTV stars, you know. But it's like they want to be outrageous, and it's a very long award show.
But why? Like, why can't it just be a nice award show?
Well, I think they got outrageous 1 year, and then it became the outrageous award.
I feel like ever since Miley has been out.
No, I mean before that, like I feel like people always have been doing the most risque stuff, like Britney Spears and stuff. So I feel like one time it was one crazy performance, and now we all want to be crazy. But the biggest thing people are talking about, other than Kanye running for president, shout out to him, he got the Vanguard Award. But it's Nicki and Miley's exchange, and I mean, I think that both of them were whack for it. Nicki was really whack, like, I don't know, you just can't be up there cursing somebody out when you accept an award and acting like you like gonna fight if she came over to you. Yeah, like it's kind of like, I understand everybody human and whatever, but this is your job. Like at the end of the day, you don't get to act unprofessional, especially not in front of 60,000 million viewers, however many people be watching that show, and it's kind of like, if you mad, you got a problem, then go to Twitter like everybody else, if that's what you do. But don't be doing it like that. Like, that was just so classless. And then where's Beyonce when you need her?
And then it's just like, where's anybody else?
Yeah.
And then it's like,
her and Meek Mill are running amok in the palace.
For real, and mind you, he's all clapping hard for her when she's getting an award. She showed him no attention.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't look. She didn't say, she didn't say, oh, thanks, you would walk with me. Nothing. This is business, guys. Their relationship. Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, Meek Mill, both of y'all acting up at this point.
Yeah.
To the point where
nobody can keep anybody in line.
It's okay to say y'all bringing out the worst in each other.
Yeah, a little toxic. Because the beef is at an all-time high.
Pills and potion. Overdosing. Get out of there, girl. Fast. Because you're looking a little sketch.
Yeah, but that's enough about that foolishness. Hopefully she gets it together.
I also feel like, was it for TV?
No.
Like, what? That's how disappointed
I don't think it was for TV, only because Miley said, like, her response after Nicki said that was that, you know, people could misconstrue your words when they do interviews. So it wasn't like something she said to get her riled up. And I just can't believe Nicki did that. Like, for what?
I can't.
And not to mention
she said, shout out her preacher first.
And no, not to mention Miley is what, 21 years old? How old is Nicki?
Nicki's like 30.
Imagine us being in a regular place and a 30-something-year-old is yelling
at a 22-year-old.
Like, come on, y'all. Like,
B, what's all that you was talking? It's like, but what?
Yeah, because what y'all gonna do? Nothing. This is not Bad Girls Club.
Okay, anyway, now this last point is for one of our listeners that had something to say about the whole dashiki movement going on. So we have something for you.
Well, yeah, what happened was, so 2 weeks ago we talked about culture appropriation. Somebody said, have y'all seen what they're doing with dashikis lately? And we hadn't. We didn't know what they were talking about. Even though I did know what you were talking about, but I didn't know that's what you were talking about. Like, I knew, they're selling them. But I I wasn't looking at it the way the person was looking at it clearly. Anyway, so XO Nicole did an interview with Ron Bass, who is a black guy who made the partner with Forever 21 to do the dashiki jersey line that the person was referencing. And basically, he told about where he got the idea. Beyonce wore it first, and then Rihanna and some other people have worn it. And Sarah Jessica Parker really got a lot of attention for wearing it recently, but Beyonce wore it when it first was like a year, almost 2 years ago. But basically, he said why he started it. He was like he said we wear things for our fans. I mean, for people who are fans of like Michael Jordan. But what do we wear to honor everyday people that go beyond? And he was like, he wanted to think of his culture, so that's where he got the dashiki pattern. And then he made it like a jersey based off that fan thing. And so 54 is for 54 countries in Africa. And they say Africa in 54, and he has ones that say base in 84 because he was born in 84. And basically. Yes, and he's an artist, and Forever 21, somebody told somebody Forever 21 is a really good artist or whatever, and it's a whole rollout with them partnering with a lot of different artists. He's the first one, and they wanted to put his stuff in the stores, and he felt like it was a really good opportunity to make what he was trying to do on such a small scale, a large scale, and they actually asked him about cultural appropriation and what he thought, and he had a very good response, because they were saying, you know, does he feel like he's in a hard place because he's black? But then you're making, you know, other people are popularizing it. He said he feels like it's a double standard. And we have every right in other areas of wanting to be accepted and understood about different things, even though people sometimes take our things and just blow it out of proportion and they take ownership. This is some of the steps that I think we need to be more open to as a culture, because I even get henna and that's not our culture, but I like it. And I don't do it in a disrespectful way. I don't take ownership of it.
A lot of black girls do henna.
He said, I feel like our culture sometimes, and almost rightfully so, we just have this guard up that, hey, this is ours and you can't have it. But then it's almost like, how do you expect us to have this fight where we want people to understand our culture and appreciate it and be a part of it as well? Some things are going to happen. Some people are going to move into our neighborhood and live the way we live and eat the food we eat, and so they can further understand us. And he went on to also say that what he does think is at fault is the magazine. When somebody pointed out, what they get mad about is when they say Sarah Jessica Parker made dashikis popular. That's when people get mad. And he said that's something up to the editorial side. He was like, when they put and say this is a new thing, he was like, you know, that's where he can see it at fault, where they don't say, you know, the origination of a dashiki. But other than that, he doesn't feel like, you know, we can hold on to something and say, no, don't do that. Because at the end of the day, what I was saying before about making things mainstream, they're mainstream. You can't want to be mainstream and want to be exclusive all at the same time.
Yeah, his comment, his response to cultural appropriation was good. But it's also good that Nicole Bitchie did do interview with him, because it's like you always want to know before you assume, like, oh, look at what they doing to this. And somebody's made an article about everybody, dashiki starting to become a style, but it's like the person that's doing it for real. Let's get his viewpoint. Let's see what he's saying.
And he made it in that way, which is, I really think, is what the double sided is. People want to say, like, look at what he's doing to dashiki.
Disrespect.
But he used the dashiki to do it like that. Like, he was very conscious of making it look from his culture and making it trying to look authentic and all that. So it's kind of like you can't knock him saying that, you know, he's belittling it or taking away the value or whatever. So. And he said, they were talking about other people that's been doing them after him, and he said a lot of those people have hit him up, like, you know, because people are saying they're copying him, but it's like, you know, when something becomes a fashion, everybody gets their own knockoff, you know, every brand. But he was like, he doesn't feel no type of way, basically.
And for them to do an interview with him was great communication to figure out a way, to figure out what
Bridge the gap.
Bridge the gap, yes, which is what we're talking about today. Communication and the importance of communication. Proper, effective communication.
Yes.
Now, all of us have been victims of
bad communication.
And some of us are still suffering from those effects of not knowing how to communicate, whether it be both parties, whether it be one party, whatever. But in the sense of what we're talking, the aspect of what we're saying it today is communication in general in our relationships. So not just girl, friends, homeboys. We talking about friendships, relationships, family, everything.
Co-workers. So
I'll start with what communication is. The act or process of using words. Use your words, people.
Oh my God. Yes.
Words, sounds, signs, or behavior to express or exchange information, ideas, thoughts, or feelings to someone else.
Yes.
That's what communication is.
Because communication is verbal and nonverbal.
Yes. Yes.
First off, using your words. That's really, I say that all the time to my sister. I was like, use your words, like, you know.
Savage does say that too also.
Yes, because you have words, a lot of us have the capacity to, what's the word? Ironic. No, articulate ourselves. So, you know, take a second, gather yourself, and let's try it again. And sometimes you need to talk your way through it and figure out what you're trying to say. Maybe the person, you need to say it wrong for you to say, no, that's not what I meant. And then, you know, I do that a lot. But anyway.
So, okay, I don't even know where to start.
Well, I was going to start with the difference. Like, how do we communicate differently in different
spectrums?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I think it's a difference, but at the end of the day, I think the key points of communicating is all the same.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different, I will communicate with my mother in a different way than I will communicate with Pierre or Javon. I will communicate with Pierre or Javon in a different way than I would with the guy that I like, that I talk to. I will communicate. It's all different, but at the end of the day, it's all a set of rules in a sense that we'll get into too, that you should keep in mind when you are communicating.
Yeah.
And also, I think we both agree, and everybody agrees, that communication is easier with some than with others. Because I know for myself, sometimes I'm easy to communicate with, and sometimes I'm not.
Yes.
Because I don't always listen first.
Yes, that's on my list. Listening is a part, because first of all, communication is two-way. It's a two-way street. You're not communicating by yourself.
Ain't no one-way, baby.
Unless you're talking to yourself, which I don't know why. I mean, I talk to myself, but you know, that's not what we're talking about today. So listening is a big thing, and a lot of people do not listen. Sometimes we get in the habit of thinking about what we're saying next while the person is talking and not listening. My mom is a huge culprit,
and I
used to do this with my sister and my mom, who have terrible communication. They would literally, and they would call me to help to fix them. I would say, we used to do this exercise where after my sister talked, my mom had to say, okay, this is what I heard you say. And then respond.
What is it? Regurgitate what you heard.
And when you have to answer a question like that before you can talk, you have to listen. Because if you say, well, what did I just say? I don't know, but you can't do that.
And it's like, but you ain't even listening, so how are we having an argument?
Right, and so then that way, if the person says, what I heard you say is, and they didn't hear you right, now we can fix that before we get way down the road and we all messed up.
Because what not listening does, because I know this, because sometimes I don't listen, but what it does is, you ain't listening, period. So, it just messes it up because you trying to comment on just how you feel.
Yeah,
that's all. It's you
selfish.
It's very selfish to not listen because you stand right here. Because they didn't say 1, 2, 3, and 4, but you're mad at 1. So everything else they said, you didn't kick it out the window already. You're not listening. And I think that it's hard to listen when you're angry.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna toggle back and forth with the list that we have. I got a list off of this website called loveisrespect.org, and they had an article called How Can We Communicate Better? And they basically listed like 8 points on what's important in communication. So the first one is find the right time.
Yeah.
Now, that's important. And another one that goes with find the right time is the 48-hour rule. So I really love this one. Now, first when I seen the 48-hour rule, I'm thinking to myself, what you think?
I thought that the 48-hour rule meant you could be mad for 48 hours.
Okay. I did too. I thought of it as,
like, after that, let it go.
48 hours, be mad, and then that's it. But at the same time, I also thought second what it really means. So 48-hour rule means if you're not still mad within 48 hours, drop it. Because
the first part was if you're mad and you're so mad, don't talk about it. Right. But then if you're not mad 48 hours, leave it alone.
But if you still are, then that's a good time.
Which is kind of what I thought.
Yeah, because I always
you can be mad for 48 hours. After that, it's over. What do you talk about?
Me personally, I feel like that, but I also know finding the right time is my thing that I have almost mastered in a sense. Just because if I'm upset, I'm quick to get on the phone and say what I gotta say, and it's all wrong. It's just all wrong. And it's like, girl, you should have just waited. You should have just thought. Because also finding the right time gives you time to think, does this really need to be said?
Yeah.
Will it be understood on both parties? Is it worth it? Because some stuff just isn't worth mentioning when you know people that you're dealing with.
Yeah. I think with me, that find the right time is bad because I'm the type of person, which I said before, I'm very logical. I can talk myself out of why it needs to be said. Whether it can be very important, somebody will be like, no, Pierre, you need to tell them. And if I was mad enough, I'd be like, forget it. It's not going to change nothing. Like, I will convince myself that it's pointless and whatever. So it's kind of like that 48 hours for me, real dangerous.
Right. And it could be dangerous, period, because within that 48 hours, a whole bunch of thoughts can go into your head. So when you do say something, it's still bad. Because in 48 hours, you have possessed yourself to think so many out-of-the-box things to where this is going to be an argument. And it's not going to be a communication, vibes, talk, me, you, listen, none of that.
And another thing, we talked about listening, but one thing when you're talking with people is which I think I'm really good at, is open-minded.
Yes, you got to be open-minded.
You can't be, if we're from two different worlds, two different families, two different schools, we're different. Everybody's different already. But when you having a disagreement, clearly we disagree. Clearly you think one thing and I think the other. So if nobody's going to be open-minded, it's pointless to have the conversation because I'm never going to agree with you and you're never going to agree with me. So you have to be open-minded and willing to see where that person's coming from and then vice versa to try to, I mean, you don't have to get a resolution, so to speak, but just so that it doesn't get worse, I think.
And after you find the right time, the best thing is face-to-face. And if you can't be face-to-face, at least on the phone. To be able to hear, to listen.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, we ain't listening when we reading the text message. We are receiving that message how we say it to ourselves in our head. And if we already are upset or feel a way, we're not going to receive anything the person is saying.
Sometimes people, though, can do better. Not do better on text, but when you can read it and analyze it, and if you know the person, read it, analyze it, and construct the answer, you know, it kind of works better, too, for when you have to say something else, like, wait, did they say this or that? You know,
and I also say, not even if you know a person well, but it takes a certain type of person to be able to interpret what is meant. Because when you texting about something serious, it's just hard to not feel away or whatever. But if you have a certain type of relationship, like me and Pierre Javon, we could text about stuff and she knows how I'm saying it 9 times out of 10. Now, usually the stuff that she doesn't get is pointless. Like, we not arguing. She don't need to know how I'm saying it. It don't matter. Yes. We have had total miscommunication.
Like a whole conversation. I'm like, wait,
wrong.
what you talking about?
But at the end of the day, that wasn't serious, so it didn't matter. Because when we're talking serious, I know that she gets what I'm saying, and she knows that I get what she's saying. Or we also can be on the phone, or we can email. It doesn't matter because we just
I think when you texting, sometimes what I do is I'll probably send a whole bunch of texts. And it'll be like, do you know what I'm saying? Not like this, but like this, you know, a bunch of ways so that the person doesn't, if it could have been taken wrong at first, and then I say, I'm not saying this to be rude, I'm saying this because of blah, 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 you know, then it kind of does a little damage control before there's any damage, basically.
Which is even easier to just pick up the phone.
Yes, and I was going to say, so I was going to ask if there was a time to choose one over the other. Like, is it sometimes where texting is better than calling?
Yes.
Like, is there some people that you would rather text or things you just would rather text about? You know, I think young people do that a lot.
Yeah, I think at our age, me personally, we should, whatever we text, we should be able to say.
Yeah.
But there are some people that operate better through a text conversation because it allows them to think.
Yeah.
Some people can't have good communication just with me approaching the situation like, well, I feel like this, that. And it's like sometimes after you tell a person how you feel, they need time. Like, let me receive that, you know, and then I can tell you because some people just aren't quick on their feet to be able to.
And it reminds me of like
when
we were younger, maybe not young, but like when you would have a argument or a conversation with somebody you talking to or something on the phone, when you hang up, they texting you.
Yeah.
Like, and then just got all this stuff to say, you know, and then the conversation go on again, then y'all got to call again, then y'all text again, you know, like, that's like.
Now, that happens still to this day.
Yeah, it does.
That does happen.
You know, it's kind of like.
Because then I think once you're off the phone, I think it's a clear line to text because both of you, whoever the person was that you are having a debate with, both of you know where you stand on the situation.
Yeah.
I just got off the phone with my homegirl. We in an argument. I know where she's standing and she knows where I'm standing. So once we text, sometimes the text quiets it down. Like, okay, cool, I get what you're saying. We talked it out, apologize, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So I think the texting comes in at a certain part of the communication, and it's okay.
I have an example of miscommunication that happened this week. So, which I think is crazy because we talked about if you know the person, you know, for the most part, you should be able to kind of feel where they at. Because even if, like you said, we know each other, but if you said something that I thought, wait, how's she saying? You know, like, if for some reason I'm lost, I would just ask.
Yeah.
I'm not going to imply that it's the negative way or the wrong way or the way that's going to make me and my feelings, you know, whatever. So, this is the funny thing that happened. It's not funny. Well, maybe somebody will laugh. So, we have a group chat with my family and my cousins, and I'll put y'all on blast. So, one of my cousins was like, you know, had did something that he had been talking about doing a lot. He was like, you know, I feel really good about it. Like, you know, I want to say everybody, it was real positive. Like, everybody, you know, keep up the good work type of thing. Like, I love y'all. Then we like, oh, that's what's up. Love you too, whatever. Then my brother comes in and he's like, oh, yeah, and I'm planning on doing this, this, and that. And then my sister's like, oh, that's cool. How's that going? And then I said, yeah, I heard. Mommy told me. And then my other brother was like, that's not funny. And we like, what? And I said, who not funny? And he like, hurt dogs. And I'm like, what? And he meaning hurt dogs holler. So,
yeah,
like, y'all guilty. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So, I'm like looking.
Hurt dogs.
Yeah, so I'm like scrolling back, like, you know, what did I, and there was a meme that came from my cousin, and I thought, is he talking to him? Like, he think he being rude? Because I thought the meme was like,
group chats are the best place to be.
Yeah, so then, you know, turned out my brother thinks we belittling my other brother, saying that's not cool, making jokes about what he want to do, and I'm like, why would we make a joke? Like, we was all kumbaya. I thought this was all, you know, good or whatever.
Positive.
Yeah, and I thought, why would you think that? And I really thought, I'm pretty good at throwing shade. If I'm throwing it, you gonna know. You gonna catch it. Like, this is not no, mommy told me. Oh, Javon, that's shade. You know what I'm saying? So it was like this whole thing. Then he leaves the group chat for the night while we all going back and forth. The next day, he like, oh, sorry, thought y'all, you know, y'all always making jokes about him. And I'm like,
oh my gosh. So now you're being too personal,
yeah.
sir.
Yeah, so we're just
so that's how you took
but
it.
We all grew up together, lived summers together, and text all the time, and somehow people still getting offended. But then when somebody want to be serious and be like, no, this ain't, you know, don't play with me like that, people still joking around. So it's kind of like, what in the world? That was crazy to me.
Yeah, and it also comes with your brother was probably the one that took it the wrong way initially. The whole message from the jump, you know, he was already probably thinking, I hope they don't come in the group trying to be smart. So when y'all did say something, he wasn't even looking at it another way because he already like, y'all trying to be funny. And it's like, bro, are you reading? Are we in the same group chat?
And it was like I don't know. And I'm just thinking, do you know us? Like, and then my brother was talking about his music. He does music. It was not a far-fetched thing or nothing.
It was real.
It was just like, okay.
It was real.
You know.
So, shout
out to y'all.
One of the next points was don't attack.
Oh, yes, I got attacked in the group chat.
Don't attack. Relax. Say what you gotta say and be mindful. Be open-minded. Be prepared to listen too, because we all know once we have an issue and it's said, we know the person will have something to say back.
Yeah.
Because we all have different feelings. We all feel certain different ways.
Yeah.
Also, be honest. If you feel like, hey, just say it. Especially if y'all are in the moment and y'all are communicating. This is the best time to get it out. And usually you only get this deep when these points matter with people that you are very, very close with. Because this stuff goes to work too, but at the same time, you get what I'm saying? It's more deep. Yeah. It's deeper the relationship is. It's easier for me to call her and be like, oh my God, da-da-da-da. Mom, what? Why did you? And she like,
and I was going to say that about attack. I don't think, first of all, if you know me, let me know if I do some bad communication things or if I was being hypocritical.
You can attack.
No, I wasn't going to say I don't. I wasn't going to say I don't. But if I'm being hypocritical, you know, or tell me some things I can work on. But anyway, don't attack is a good one, but I don't think I attack as much as I get loud. And it's not considered attacking to me because
it's an emotion. When you get loud.
I'm very passionate.
Me too.
So it's like when I'm talking about something, you know, I'm loud. And I think too, coming from a house with a lot of people, I had to yell. Like, you know, we did a lot of not yelling like angry. But, you know, we were loud. Yeah, we were loud people, and everybody's not loud. You know, I'm the loudest.
And I'm loud.
But you know, I think sometimes people are yelling. That doesn't go well. Because some people shut down automatically if you yell at them. Funny thing is, I'm like that.
But you yell real fast.
But when I'm not yelling, It's hard to explain, but if somebody yells at me,
you don't like it.
Even though I'm a good communicator when I'm communicating, or in the midst of it, that line is real thin to where I want to talk and I don't.
But but your voice level goes from 0 to 10 very fast. Yes. Here on the show, both of us, we get loud talking about crazy stuff. So it's just funny to know that if somebody yells at you, which really they're probably just trying to be louder than you because you're loud when you get loud, and they're trying to accentuate their voice so you can hear them, and it's like, I don't want to talk no more. And it's but the whole time you've been yelling at me, but then you're like, I'm not yelling. Yeah, I'm just loud. And it's this.
But I'm gonna tell you what, I only yell at people that I'm close to. In a sense of like my family, like I feel like I yell when I'm like you talking with my brothers and something, we're arguing, I'm probably yelling.
You yell at me.
Well, yeah, but we're close. But I feel like if I was like if I had an argument with a dude, I'm more likely to shut down than yell. Like I'm not going to. In that instance, if he yelled first, I'd be like, okay, now why are you yelling? Like that's unnecessary. Like for real, like
no, I know.
That's unnecessary. So I'm not like that. It's a whole. It's weird.
And that goes with my family. My family is loud. Well, me, my mother, and my sister is. My father hates it. He hates that me and my sister, and sometimes my mom, because my family up north is loud. The argument, the communication, everybody's yelling. Like everybody's on 13. Everybody, and that's where you stay at. Even when the argument is over and we're not arguing no more, and we laughing, we still at 13 laughing about the argument 10 minutes ago. Yeah. So for me to be loud is normal. It's normal. Me and my sister are loud all the time in the house. We yell at each other for fun, to laugh, because we laugh. The smallest things y'all probably wouldn't think is funny, we do it to each other, and it's funny. And if you was sitting here, you would bust out laughing because like, what are y'all doing? But we yell a lot. And I do yell. When I am passionate, when I am upset, my voice will rise. But if I feel that, I've learned to just be like, okay, I do this a lot. Gather. Oh, y'all can't see me, but I'm pulling it down. Taking my whole hand and pulling it down.
And I'm not the person that when somebody tells me I'm too loud,
you're not going to be quiet.
No, I know they're right.
It's like, I know I'm loud, but this is because
I can get quiet right then, and then it's going to go back.
And it go right back. Okay. So, body language. That's also a big factor when you're communicating, because you can be saying you're not mad or you don't feel this or that way, but your body is saying you're still mad, you still feel this way, you punching your hand, you mean business right now. So relax on the body language. I'm trying to figure out what would be a good way to communicate, like hands behind your back.
No, I think body language can mean a lot, like communication wise, if you're not talking.
Yeah, because when you're listening, it's like.
No, I mean, like, if you say y'all had an attitude and you saying you done, it's over, you let it go. But then when I see you, your arms barely opening to hug me, I'm touching you, not, so I think
you just don't say nothing at all.
Or sometimes when people talk, their gestures and their hands going crazy.
Rolling their eyes.
That's a lot.
Sweat, putting their head, leaning on one elbow.
Or looking away. Like, don't look away while I'm talking to you and there's nothing to look at.
Yes, and going with the yelling, since a lot of people that aren't loud will communicate that as being you're mad. So when angry and you're trying to communicate, the first thing you need to do is just stop. Like, stop the conversation for a second, because you got to breathe and you got to get it together, which is what I just said I do. I pull it down. I just hold on for a second. Matter of fact, I'm going to call you right back, and we can try. Just give me a second, because I'm all over the place. And it just won't be good if we continue. So you just stop and you breathe and you give your second to calm down. Give you a second to calm down. Then you think, because it's always smart to think before you speak, which is something that I'm still working on in my 26 years of life. Thinking before you're letting out these feelings that have been pondering inside of you, since you might have waited your 48 hours and you're still upset. So now all your 48 hours of anger is ready to come out explosively, and it's just not cool. So after you think, then you talk, and then the best part comes when you have to listen.
First of all, I was gonna say that when somebody's talking, I have a tendency to get, if I really care, overwhelmed. Meaning, you're talking, you're saying all of this stuff, and I have so much to say, I don't want to say nothing right now. But it's not that I don't want to say, like, I'm trying to gather myself. It's like I can't say, like, it's like, and I said I just can't. I don't know, like, guys I talked to before, they get really pissed when I say I don't know. And they're like, yes, you do know. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just don't know. But then it's like, once I think about it and, you know, all that, usually the time done passed and it's ridiculous to bring it up, which is when I go back to talking myself into, this is over, you know, this is pointless, this is not going to change nothing. And it's an ongoing cycle, but, you know, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I mean, everybody is. Communication is something that has to be worked on, and I feel like the older we get, the more we should be able to take these points that we discuss and notice that we're not doing them and put them into play. Like for me, I know listening is something that I'm not always trying to do when I'm already upset, versus when I'm just really concerned, that's the first thing I want to do is listen.
See, I'm a good listener. I listen to everything somebody's saying because, I mean, you know, no shade, but if I'm arguing with you, I need to make a good point.
Yeah. So, off rip, I don't listen. During the argument, I begin to listen, if that makes sense. Yeah. So, like, if I'm the one that has the issue and I'm calling you point blank, period, I'm spazzing.
Oh, geez.
Sometimes that's just my approach. Like, you know, especially if we was texting first and the text not going right.
You're like, okay.
So when I call, if you see Chanel name and we already been texting, I'm either going to be left, mad, or right, trying to figure out if you mad.
Yeah.
It's no in between with me. I'm not going to talk and then get mad. No, it's either I'm already mad or I'm not going to get mad, period, and we just going to hash this out. Which, in my 26 years, I've been doing being more calm. Because, I mean, let's be real. Me calling you with a whole lot of attitude when you probably don't even care about not care about how I feel, but your view and my view is like this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I wasted 400 molecules of energy to call you and yell, and for you to just calm me all the way down, and now I look stupid.
Yeah.
And then what you got to say, in communication, you have to know how to apologize. Apologize.
Sometimes, though, like I said, if I don't want to talk about something with a person, like my mom, I talk to her about everything. I can call her and yell at her. It's not at her because it's not about her, but I'm yelling at her. And then she's like, Yvonne, calm down. You know, after I got it all out, and then she'll say something, then I can talk normal now to her, and so now I can go back and talk to the other person because I sorted through my thoughts, and I'm not, you know, angry. I'm prepared. You know,
that's a great way to handle it, too, because I call certain people before I lash out, too, because then I won't lash out because I already got it out. So, or even if you write, if you text, if you talk to guys, sit in your car and spill it. Say what you gotta say. This is why I'm mad.
Talk to yourself on the
Talk
highway.
to yourself. Do something because by the time it gets to the person, you also made points in your head to where you may understand already where they're coming from. And you just want to see maybe this is how they coming. Maybe this is how they feel or where they're coming from. And if we listen, we know that usually when you take the time to actually think before approaching situations, you probably end up kind of sort of on the same path as the person. Yeah. Like, you got to learn how to be selfless and know that you are not the only person in the issue, if it even is an issue.
Yeah.
And then move forward with proceeding on how to approach the situation.
Do you have, like, a person that you think is, like, one of the best persons to talk to? Or, yeah, maybe.
My honest answer, I don't think there's a best or a worst person to talk to. I just think it's all about how I approach the person. I feel like I am in control.
Well, no, I mean in terms of, say, like, you know, you can have a conflict with this person and y'all could, it wouldn't get crazy, like beyond.
Yeah, I know a couple of people I think I could have. Are you saying?
Okay, so yeah, what I'm saying, so why are those people, like, what's the characteristic that's making it a productive exchange?
Either we are alike and they, like, some people I can communicate with and we both yelling.
Yeah.
Like, me and Savage both can yell at each other. Me and you both can get loud about Blue Ivy together and we just gonna take another shot and we'll leave it alone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Versus some people I know that I won't even say anything to because I don't have time. Mm-hmm. Because I know for sure a person that I can have a conversation with or approach them and it can be something small, but it can definitely be blown out of proportion. Mm-hmm. Or either, and that's only because they're sensitive.
Yeah.
And I'm sensitive in certain areas, but I'm not sensitive. Mm-hmm. So it's like, once they express to me how they feel, especially if I feel like it's like, it's like, okay, I get it, but I don't know what you want me to do about that part. And it's like, well, how you don't know what you want to be? You know, it's just wrong. So certain people, some things I just won't say anything about.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not bothering me for real. It's just like one of them things like I could talk to it about another. I could call Pierre and tell her why this is bothering me, and then I could just leave it alone.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when, especially like with friends, that you just know, like I know she not gonna think that this is that serious. She not gonna really see where I'm coming from, or she already knows she doesn't because she told me, you know, whatever. But I still want to talk about it, so I'll call you and tell you I can't believe this, you know, and then it's like clear the air and whatever.
Because all of my friends, close friends, from Joelle to Caprice to Savage to you to Church, anybody if I'm calling them, they know how I'm coming. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
there's no misunderstanding.
Yeah, it's not a misunderstanding. And if it is, if you can't tell me that you misunderstood, that's your problem.
Right.
Because whatever, you took it that way. That's not what I meant. That's how you took it. Yeah. And 5 minutes ago when I said it, that's what you should have said. When we trying to hash out the argument, don't bring something up I said 5 minutes because now it's irrelevant and I really don't care.
Yeah.
Like, we got over that. You? What do you think?
What? Who I can talk to?
Anybody.
I mean, I think that it's not anybody. Because, like I said, I don't always yell because usually...
The sun is setting.
Yeah, I don't really know what the whole deal is with my yelling and not. But I think that if I'm not yelling, you should be concerned.
Because now you blot out.
Well, not even that, but I think that, like, when it's really something that I care about, I'm either calm or I'm not talking. So it's kind of like when I'm yelling, it's not that it's fake or, you know, that I'm just being extra, but it's kind of like it's not that serious. Like when I'm not yelling, you should be concerned. So I think anybody that I talk to, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You know, whatever. Now, I do know some bad people I talk to. Yeah, me too. I think everybody got people that just can't
get it.
Yeah, you just can't. And because like me, like I know when I'm on the roll with the communication and I'm trying to get out everything so I don't forget, you know, the other person, okay, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
And then they say such. And it's like, do you understand? Like, so if me and a friend are talking, it's like you having a conversation, but each of you stop in the middle of the conversation. Like, I've learned to do this, and it's like, okay, do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I do that.
Like, checkpoints, like, do you understand? But I never would do it until somebody started doing it to me because they know that I wasn't understanding. I'm just listening to
I'll do that if I feel like I'm not being heard. Right. Like, if we still going back and forth and you still thinking, I still say, like, me and my sister do that. Like, why I do it to her? I'll say, do you get what I'm saying, though? And then she'll say, yeah or no or yeah, but, you know, whatever. And then I know if it's pointless for me to say what I'm about to say. Or if, you know, whatever. It kind of lets you know where we at right now.
And I think sisters probably have the most complicated communication style.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, as your sister, I'm going to say what I need to say.
Yeah.
Like, it's no hold punches. I'm going to hold the punch, but it's no hold punches.
Yeah.
Like,
and you have to love me because
and we're here tomorrow. Right. We're going to get over it. Yeah. And we just going to argue. Like, me and my sister, we could yell it out. Oh, we can go. Tears, everything. We yelling. Whoop-de-whoop, bah, nah. And then 10 minutes later, it's like, we harmonizing in the kitchen.
Like the Braxtons.
Yeah. Making songs about us just arguing. Or either Janae likes to do things like joke about the sensitivity in me. So if I cry in an argument, you know, she'll bring it up like, but she was crying when we were just arguing. And it's like, but why would you say that? Like, what does that have to do with anything? Mm-hmm. But I definitely think sisters and probably brothers. I feel like siblings, period. But it's that way of communication.
Yeah.
I feel like siblings, period, have their own ways of communications. And I feel like parents and children, it just go with what we saying. Communication at every level is different. But at the end of the day, you have to take into consideration people's feelings altogether.
And I guess that we have perfect communication because nobody told me what I need to work on.
Yeah, nobody really said anything. And really,
we really didn't even ask. That's bad communication.
Oh, sorry. We're
loud naturally. Oh, we got comments.
Sorry, y'all. Okay, so Merck said, I like being yelled at in an argument.
No.
Because you going to go from mad to super mad. Once I act like I don't hear you. That's childish. Drew G said, yeah, if you yelling 9 times out of 10, I'm not listening because my mama didn't yell at me. LOL. Your mama yelled at you before.
No, let me.
Hold on, let's keep going. And Savage says we're naturally loud. Yes.
Okay, so Americans, yes. No, but yes, because we be vibing. Because that's what I'm saying. When people yell at me, my first
But you yell at people.
No, but what I said was if somebody yells at me first, I don't yell all the time. I yell with you, and I yell like...
I've seen you yell at people.
Okay, all I'm saying is if somebody yelled at me first, I'm going to be like, why are you yelling? Like, they going to feel like they overreacting. That's just my first, because I don't... And what the next person said was their mama didn't yell at them. My mom's not a yeller. My daddy's not a yeller. People don't yell at me. So when somebody yells at me, I'm like, why are you yelling?
Well, initially, I get that. But off rip, I feel like anybody that gets yelled at first, or any time in the argument, they're going to ask that. Why are you yelling?
Some people, you yell, boom, let's go. You know what I mean? You gave me the, let's go.
Well, no offense to Savage. I can get loud too, Savage. Savage will get loud, and I will do it too. Like, you want to yell, we can have a screaming battle. But I also downplay it, like, but neither one of us are going to know what we're saying, so go ahead.
Yeah.
You want to yell? Go ahead. Because at the end of the day, it only works when one person is yelling, kind of, sort of. Unless you're my family and everybody just be yelling for fun. And even when I'm up north and we having those disputes and everybody yelling, myself sometimes I have to be like, y'all, okay, wait. Because then you can't even think. You just mad. It's just too much.
Yeah. And
I think being loud clouds your judgment. Oh.
I mean, yeah, because we hear the volume, we don't hear the words.
Right.
Hashtag.
We hear the volume, we don't hear the words.
Come on.
Smooth. Ain't nothing like them natural quotes that just come rolling. Y'all better start using this when we get this glimpse.
But I think, like you said, only one person can be yelling. And I think, you know, that's that whole opposite attract thing, too. Because you can't be, both of us can't. Now, some people have those toxic, dysfunctional relationships and they just yelling all the time.
And they love it.
Yes, and they love it all the time. But, you know, my heart can't take that, child.
Yeah, or...
The stress.
So I feel like, or if both y'all aren't yellers, at one point in the argument, only one can be up here and the other one got to be down here. And then y'all can switch. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all tug of war. Yeah. It's all push and pull. It's all give and get. Because you want to be understood just like the other person want to be understood.
And I can get angry. So if somebody yells, it should go bad.
And like we said, even when it comes to like texting and stuff after the phone, because the phone might not work.
Yeah.
It might not work. So email maybe, or text messaging. Well, I say email because you can just say a lot, especially if you ain't got no iPhone. Ain't nobody got time for 30 messages.
You know, now let's talk about how some people like for the person to yell to show they care. Because I've been in an argument with people when we talking normal.
Why you not yelling?
No, when we talking normal, you ain't feeling me. But then when I start yelling, now you right here because you like, wait, hold up now. Like, now you turned on and I'm pissed, you know, like, because you had to take me there.
It's like, well, you weren't yelling at first. It's like, why do I need to yell? Yeah. Like, why do I need to yell to say what I'm trying to say?
You shouldn't have to.
Because my little friend don't like when I yell. That's dead. If you yelling at me, we ain't talking. It's like, why are you yelling? And it's like, well, because I'm trying to, and it's like, no. We're not going to yell. You're going to stop talking.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's when I got to pull myself together.
I think I only yell if somebody, not only, but the main reason I yell is when people are trying to talk over me.
How do y'all feel about it?
Because I'm going to tell you what I cannot stand is people cutting me off. I hate when people it's funny now when I'm at work, I'm not going to yell, but people keep cutting me off when I'm at work, I just stop talking. Because you're not listening. It's not working. I haven't got to say what trying to say. I cannot stand to be cut off. Like, okay, hold on. Let me finish. And then you can go.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if I'm not even finished, then you don't know.
Yeah, that's why I start yelling. Or if somebody just say something ridiculous. Like, I yell at my brothers probably because they say something ridiculous. Or just make me mad.
I don't know. I mean, I just think communication is very
important.
Where's
my family at? Y'all can tell me about myself, but y'all ain't listening.
Where's anybody at? It's about the storm. I know y'all ain't out in the streets. But I feel like communication may, at our age, there's no excuse, I feel, as to why we haven't found our best way of communicating.
Yes, if you care. Now, if you happy with your life being dysfunctional and falling out with people and arguing and the stress, some people like that, then of course you're not going to figure it out. But me, well, like I said about how I tend to shut down and not talk about it, I'm working on that. Like, I haven't had anybody to practice on, but I feel like, my next go around, I need to say things when I feel them.
Yeah,
and,
Yeah, and then you will also learn maybe when you, depending on who the person is and the reaction you'll start to get. That's what I had to learn. Me personally, it wasn't always good to just say hi.
Well, I don't mean that. Like, okay. I don't mean not think before I speak. I just
not saying not thinking before you speak, but sometimes if something make you feel some type of way, initially, you not saying that you're not thinking, but you can say like, I didn't like such. But sometimes even right then and there, you don't need to say it right then and there. That's what I mean. Like, not saying I didn't think about it.
No, I just meant saying how I feel. Like, period. Not whether it's on time. Yeah, just period. Because I don't say how I feel.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, so I'm working on it.
Okay, yeah, so I feel like when it comes to communicating your internal feelings, I mean, all of it is your feelings, but like, say, like, for guys, for like, if you, hypothetically speaking, said you were speaking about a guy, you're not good with telling a guy, I like you, this is what it is, this is what I want. If you don't want it, let me know.
Yeah, that's where I am now.
Right. And you know how to voice that now, right? So, saying that, I think the communication has to be direct. Like, we don't have time to wait to say how you feel, feelings-wise, to another individual. Yeah, but I do feel, yeah, oof, wait, hypothetically. But I do feel that disputes that we might get into, it's a certain time to I think that's the only difference. Feelings as far as how I feel about you, whoop-de-woo, versus how you made me feel. Some people know how to react correct at the right time, but sometimes it's just not always the right time to say something. Yeah. Like if we at your mama's house for dinner and you made me mad, we can't be sitting at the table and I'm trying to tell you, you just made me mad and we at your mama's house.
But see, that's the other thing. So if you're going to be like I said I am or used to be, where you're not going to say what you feel, you can't hold on to it either. Because now this person is oblivious to your attitude and you know.
Got an attitude, they don't know why.
So you can't do that.
And I had to learn that too.
Yeah, and I think too, what I do, not if I don't, this is if I do talk about it. Say I talk about it and I still just, feel that way, just hasn't passed yet for me. I can't fake nothing. So it's kind of like, I'd rather not talk to you, or like, I don't want to have like, how's the weather? Like, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
And I feel like I usually get caught up in that sometimes. They have a comment. So I had to ask my group chat, how can I improve my communication? My brother said, you're doing great. Thanks.
Well, if anybody knows me and you know a way that I can improve my communication, I would really like to know. Because I try to do a lot of self-improvement.
That's me, honey.
Self-digging to see, like, what did I do wrong that I could do right about this time. Constructive criticism is always good, especially when I'm asking for it.
You know what I think is a real big thing, which when I was saying about being open-minded kind of go together, being aware of your audience or the person you're talking to. Sometimes we communicate very selfishly, and like you said, some people are sensitive. Like, my sister's more sensitive than me. And when I talk to her, of course I'm going to say what I have to say when it is like, this needs to be said. But I'm not going to talk to her the way I would talk to one of my friends or something, because she not going to receive it right. So you're going to waste your time trying to help the person, because once they shut down, they can't take it, then it's over. You just wasted your time. So you have to be aware of like the person and how they're going to react to a certain extent, I think.
It's lightning, y'all. Woo! It's lightning in the studio. But yeah, that's true though. But all in all,
and shout out to my sister who's helped me with my communication.
And shout out to everybody.
Buckle a little bit.
Yeah, most definitely. And I mean, anybody that I feel like the person that shows you the community things that you need to work on most is the person that you love. Yes. Because you don't want to hurt them, and you want to make sure that you're doing this right or doing that right. You don't want to step on toes. You don't want you guys to be mad at each other. So it really takes a whole toll. And then once I can do this for my sister, or once I can do this for this guy that I really like or love, then I know I can exemplify that with other people, because it's like I took the time to think about it for them. Why not? Because it's all about treating people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
That's when it comes to communication.
And sometimes I think when you talk to people, the whole agree to disagree thing is easier said than done. And I think sometimes people, you just realize that y'all just are different. And, you're going to think A and I'm going to think B. And we're going to have to just keep it moving. Like, every argument can't build on the next argument, because we're just so different. I think that's a big thing with me and my brother. We are completely different, and the argument is always, it's always something. But it's like,
it is what it
we're
is.
Different. So you just got to, let it go. Everybody don't feel the same way that you feel about things. My daddy tells me that all the time.
That's true. And when it comes down to it, just make sure we are finding the right time. We are listening. Forget all the other bullet points. Just make sure when you are communicating with somebody, make sure you are going to be open-minded, you are going to listen, and that you are going to approach it correctly and timely. And these are life lessons that we all need, because we probably would have helped way more people today if they was listening. But this is something that we all need to work on. Nobody's perfect when it comes to communication. Nobody.
Yeah.
You know, you can feel like I'm a good communicator, but maybe on this argument I had, I could have worked on that, and it could have turned out a whole other way, or vice versa, or whatever.
And if you having an argument or a disagreement with somebody and it's not being resolved, there is somebody that you can talk to get their input, to let them know what somebody said and what you said, and like
a mediator. It's okay.
Not even right then, just their opinion. Like, I called you, like, did I overreact? Like, when I said this, and that, and she might have point something else out to me that I didn't, you know, realize. And I think it's important to have that person, because like you said, when a person loves you or close to you, they can tell you something about yourself that you don't want to hear, and it's gonna help you in the relationship that you over here
struggling with.
Yes.
And unbiased opinion is always appreciated. A mediator, not necessarily on the phone with y'all, but a person that you can call and re-talk the argument with. And you also have to know how to not be one-sided when you telling the argument. You got to be able to say, I did this, I did that, then they said this. Because then if you don't regurgitate it, but
because then they might be saying, oh no, they should not.
Right, they won't get the right gist from it. But it's about the storm, so we need to wrap this up.
Yes, and we got a quote. My quote is really young. I don't know if I got it from somewhere, but before you think about quitting, think about why you started.
And that's life. And that's every day. That's any obstacle. I feel like it applies to anything. A lot of the quotes we say don't apply to just one particular point in your life. But anything you're in, anything your feet are in, before your feet were there, you had a reason why you planted them. And once your feet are planted, when you want to dig them out the mud, think about why you even stepped in the mud.
Yeah. Because it's hard to start over.
It's hard to put them feet out and stick them back in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll ever put them back once you pull out.
Jesus.
And that's the worst thing. To start something and to have been so dedicated, and then 10 years later, you wish you stayed starting. And now it's just like you won't ever do it again because it's past your time. Don't miss your blessing trying to quit. Like, just remember, just stick with it. Stay with it. Stay with it, y'all. Don't lose it. Don't lose it through this weekend. Keep it funky this weekend.
Yeah, it's Labor Day. We ain't had no events for y'all, but all you gotta do is just step outside. You find something. Not tonight. Don't come on.
Yeah, because it's about to storm, and it's like
I drove through some rain twice today. Like, right in front of me, rain. Right behind me, no rain.
Y'all keep it safe, and we hope to see y'all or hear y'all listening to us and seeing y'all comments next Friday.
We talking about, the question is it hard to love a black woman? That was thunder. I don't know if that was symbolic or not.
And it's still thundering.
Yeah.
So that's next week. Is it hard to love a black woman? And we always have the woman listeners tuned in. And the guys too. We just know a lot of times, a lot of our guy listeners don't comment. But next week, we really want some interaction. If y'all have something to say throughout the week, y'all can let us know. Y'all can hit us up on Twitter at Fair Game Radio, or y'all can Facebook us. I'm Chanel Parsons on Facebook.
Pierre Currents
on Facebook. Or you can text us if you have our numbers. We appreciate the constant love and support. As always, I'm Nelly P.
I'm Pierre Javon.
And we are Fair Game.
Life's not fair.
But we are. Every Friday. Holla at us.